Hey, what's up there guys, Leonidas here. Now before the video starts, I would like to go over a few Pokemon that have been forgotten. Basically the Eevee and Pikachu from the event, and the Larvitar Jangmo from the in-game codes that I got. So first off, let's start with Eevee, the one that I could actually obtain because I can't obtain a Pikachu because I did not play Let's Go Pikachu. It is a normal type. HP, attack, defense, special attack, special defense, speed are all pretty decent. However, special defense seems to be its main thing. Its abilities are Runaway, which is basically you will always flee from a battle successfully, regardless of any other ability that basically hinders you to do that. Adaptability will increase the stab of the Pokemon from 1.5 times to 2 times. What does that mean? Basically, if you use an attack that is the same as your Pokemon's type, it will get stabbed, basically doing more damage. And its hidden ability is Anticipation. The Pokemon can sense an opponent's dangerous move. Basically, it basically gives you a kind of like a look into the future of whether your Eevee is gonna die or not. Where basically, it will look through the opponent's 4 moves and pick out the one that has the most power, and then it will literally tell you what it is. Pretty good! Its catch rate in the wild is 45%. It's 45 out of 255, which is, I mean, it's a really rare Pokemon, so I don't know what you would expect. It is most of the time male, but also 12.5 times. Well, the females are a bit harder to find. There's not really any good reason for it other than it is a rare Pokemon. As for the moves that this Eevee can learn, it can learn decent stuff. However, I need to draw your attention to one move in particular. Now, this Eevee in particular has no evolution, which we'll talk about later. But there is one move known as Last Resort. I believe only Eevees can learn this move, and you can only use this move if you have no other moves available. Basically, if all 4 of your moves, if 3 of them have no more PP left, and Last Resort is literally your last resort, the attack will finally be able to be used. Otherwise, if you're playing with an Eevee with a lot of moves that have a lot of PP left, just don't use Last Resort because it will not be affected. That's the problem with Eevee, because this Eevee in particular will stay an Eevee no matter what. So learning Last Resort will be eventual. Just be careful that you have no moves left. I would say that it is a very like situational move. Like there's never a time where you get to fight to the point where you have no PP on all the skills except Last Resort. And Eevee's, most of her skills in fact, are really high PP. Like the lowest amount is 15. That's higher than most Pokemon. But anyway, now we're gonna move on to a bit more exciting part about Eevee. Her evolution and Gigantamax form. Now, as you can see by this humongous resume of different forms, you will know that Eevee has gotten a lot of love from this community. And even with the new addition of said Gigantamax Eevee, the love hasn't changed. So, for this particular Eevee with that symbol, it means it can Gigantamax. And with a Dynamax band, which you'll get at the beginning of the game, you'll evolve it into the mighty gigantic floof of an Eevee. Now, of course, we're gonna move on to Eevees that you can find in the wild, because the only difference between this Eevee and those in the wild is in fact that these Eevees in the wild are able to evolve into the many different forms that you see below, which I will go through now. The one on the top left-hand corner of the bottom row, the bottom part of the non-Gigantamax evolutions, you'll need a Firestone to evolve into Flareon, a Thunderstone into Jolteon, a Water Stone into Vaporeon. You have to increase an Eevee's friendship in the morning to get Espeon, increase an Eevee's friendship at night to get Umbreon, a Leaf Stone for Leafeon, an Ice Stone for Glaceon, and for the final Sylveon, you need to give it needs to be not only 2 heart friendly, which is a thing that you can do at a camping site, which I'll go through in a later episode. And it must also know a fairy move, and then level up, and then which case you will get a Sylveon. Now, I will need to talk about 2 of them, Leafeon and Glaceon. They have made it so much easier to get these 2. In older games, you had to go to a specific area with a specific rock, train your Eevee there, and it would transform into one of these 2. Thank God now that you can just evolve it using a Leaf Stone and an Ice Stone. It's so much easier and it's so good. Anyway, after talking about, well, this bud for too long, we're gonna be now talking about the other buddy, Pikachu. Now, I may show a lot of hate for Pikachu, but that's because he's overrated. Like, if you talk to any adult about Pokemon, Pikachu is the starting thing that they talk about. It's like, you know all the memes, like, is this a Pikachu meme? Yeah, I hate those. Shut up. Anyway, Pikachu. Speed. Oh, he is the fast. And attack, I guess it's high, but doesn't make sense for an electric type. Its abilities are static. When a Pokemon with this ability is hit by a move that makes contact, there's a 30% chance the opponent will be paralyzed. Now, this can also affect ground types, who are usually not affected by electric moves. Even though I question your sanity on why you'd leave your electric mouse Pokemon against a gigantic rock snake. Ash? And anyway, its hidden ability is Lightning Rod, where it draws in all electric type moves. And it will not get damaged, and it will boost its own special attack. Thank God, because this thing needs a special attack boost. 50-50 in terms of female and male. It's pretty standard stuff. And its catch rate is 190. Higher than Eevee, but guess what? It's because Pikachu are more common than Eevee. Team Rocket really has to start looking at other Pokemon that isn't Pikachu. And it has a 5% chance of holding a Light Ball in the wild. It evolves to Raichu just by using a Thunderstone, and you can breed a Pikachu to get a Pichu, and then from Pichu you just need to raise its friendship to get to Pikachu. Pretty good. And now let's talk about Pikachu's moves. Holy crap, there are a lot of them. Most of them electric based, some fairy based for some reason. But other than that, pretty standard stuff for an electric mouse. It has Thunder, Thunderbolt, Discharge, Spark, Electro Ball, many special moves. Many good moves in fact. And even true, breeding, about the Light Ball that I talked about earlier, which Pikachus have a chance of holding. If you breed a Pikachu with a Light Ball, you have a chance, well, not a chance, I think it's 100% chance, that the Pichu that comes out of it will learn Volt Tackle, 120 power move with 100% accuracy and 15% PP. And you wanna know the best part? It's physical base. Yeah, Volt Tackle, very good move for Pikachu, and especially Ash's main move to spam. But anyway, now we're gonna move on to the big Chungus, this Dynamax Pikachu. Oh boy, look at that boy. Oh, by the way, this is a joke that I literally laughed at so hard. While I was making these bios, I was like, hey, they're Gigantamax. Let's make them stupidly huge. So, tada, it's blocking the Light Ball. Yeah, so when you use the Dynamax band on this Pikachu in particular, you will get that Dynamax Pikachu. Look at him. Big Chungus indeed. And unfortunately, I cannot show you guys its form, but maybe in the future, which maybe if someone borrows me their copy of Let's Go Pikachu, if anyone I know is stupid enough to actually play Let's Go Pikachu, thank you for being the stupid ones, because I was really close to buying them both, so I guess I'm even dumber, because playing one is hard enough. Playing them both when you only have one Switch is even harder. So thank you to all my friends, or any friend who actually decided to buy Let's Go Pikachu. Anyway, moving on to Larvitar, the rock skin Pokemon, Ground Rock. Pretty good, literally counters the Pikachu. Okay, no, I'm not gonna continue hating on Pikachu. I love the little guy. It's just he's overrated, okay? Attack! Attack seems to be his best thing. A bit like Pikachu. HP and defense are its next best. It's actually a really tanky attacker, I guess you would say. Not really good as a sweeper considering its speed is terrible, but compared to the other Pokemon in the entire region, I guess you would be fine. Also, it's a 3-stage evolution line, so cut it some slack. Yeah, cut it some slack, me. Anyway, its abilities, Guts. When a Pokemon has a status condition, its attack will be increased by 50%. However, this isn't affected by Frozen. No, not the movie. If Pokemon are frozen and then they thaw out of it using a move, the ability does not activate, so be careful when you're being frozen. But of course, the Pokemon will not lose attack if it's burned. Burn usually halves the Pokemon attack, but well, thanks to Guts, it's normal. And its hidden ability, Sand Veil. During a sandstorm, the accuracy of any move used against this Pokemon will be affected by a factor of 4 out of 5. Where basically it now has a 4 out of 5 chance of hitting your Pokemon and a 1 out of 5 chance for, well, not hitting it. which is actually pretty decent considering that, well, if you decide to bring this little guy competitive and you know it's a Sand Veil, most competitive players have very powerful moves, but with very horrible accuracy. Using this makes it so that they might as well be blind. But of course, your Larvitar has to somehow know the move Sandstream, which I believe its evolution does learn it, but we'll talk about it when it eventually evolves. Its catch rate is 45%, even though the one that we got was the Dynamax raid, so it's 100%. Anyway, from Larvitar to Pupitar, it's level 30 needed. Not that far off, actually. But then, from Pupitar to Tyranitar, by the way, is level 55. To put it in perspective, the Dynamax Eevee has to get to level 55 to learn Last Resort. Yeah, think about it. Anyway, the moves that this Larvitar can learn are pretty, well, I would say the normal moves, but then again, it does learn Hyper Beam at level 42. So, I don't know if you count that as normal, but that isn't normal. But of course, it's a 3-stage evolution, so give it time and it will be a beast. But for now, it is just this little guy with really powerful moves. Anyway, moving on to a Pokemon that I never got to use because I never got to play the game because my parents decided to keep my DS until the point where now it's broken. So, I can't complain. I didn't buy it. Anyway, Jangmo, the scaly Pokemon. Dragon type. Pure Dragon type until it evolves. Its ability is bulletproof, soundproof. I think I don't have to explain to you guys what these do, right? I think I do. Bulletproof. Basically, it is not affected by ball and bomb moves. Basically, any move that is like a shooting move is basically what I'm trying to say. Even though this explanation doesn't help, but it's all the shooting moves. So there is a guy on Bulbapedia that does tell you all the moves that Bulletproof will actually save you from. So that's a good thing. And then Soundproof. Soundproof prevents all effects from sound-based moves. And the Pokemon will have immunity from all of them. Yes, any sound-based move. However, I believe now Heal Bell isn't affected by this. Because usually it's an ally's Heal Bell, you know, it's kind of stupid. And its hidden ability, Overcoat. In a battle, a Pokemon does not take damage from the weather conditions Sandstorm, Hailstorm. It is also protected by Powder and Spore moves. Yes, this thing is pretty much... You can't, like, use... All the grass types that have all those kind of moves are pretty much useless if your Jangmo has Overcoat. Jangmo's attack and defense are its main forte and everything else is pretty balanced. But it's a 3-stage evolution, so it gets better. Now, from Jangmo... I feel like I'm saying that wrong every time I say it. From Jangmo to Hakamo, it takes level 35. Slightly higher than Larvitar to Pupitar, but then again, it makes up for it immediately. From Hakamo to Komo, oh my god, this line is interesting. To Komomo, I'm just gonna call it Komo. It takes level 45, which is 10 levels less. But, you know, it kind of makes up for the fact that its previous evolution was slightly higher, even though I don't think it actually makes up for it. And in the wild, it has a chance of holding a Razor Claw. Pretty good, pretty standard stuff. I believe the Razor Claw increases crit rate. I believe so. It does increase crit rate. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the 4 Pokemon that I missed out in the last episode. Anyway, let's begin the episode! Man... Who would have thought that finally, this tiny group of, how many Pokemon is this? Roughly 400? Roughly? Only 400 Pokemon? Oh. Okay, apparently 392 Pokemon. There's supposed to be 400. But hey, no one's complaining. When we can finally get not only more Pokemon, but more legendaries and more story. Hey there guys, my name is Leonidas. Welcome to... God damn it again. Welcome to Pokemon Sword. This happened in Shield. I hate that note. Anyway, last time we, well, did some raids in the wild area. Got ourselves our wonderful little buddy Jangmo over here. And got a lot of... Wait a minute. Wait a second. Hold up. Wait a minute. What? Wait a minute. Oh wait, no, I'm an idiot. Jangmo's right here. Wait. Wait a second. What the heck? Wait a minute. What is going on here? Hold on. What are you doing here? You're not the right exclusive. Okie dokie? Well, let's just move on. See this guy? You can spend your watts. What are watts? What are watts? It's the things that you get from the power dens when they are lit up. Well, not the light, but more like this part that I'm touching is like glowing. Yeah. Well, it's the main currency in the wild area. I know it sounds weird to say the main currency in the wild area, but it really is. Where basically in the wild area, there's a bunch of people who are dressed like this. You can go to them and they sell you special balls, the wishing pieces, which are basically used to get Dynamax raids happening just like that. And also a bunch of TRs, which are basically TMs that are one-time use. But the moves they hold are actually worth your time. So yeah, it's pretty good to farm it up here. And this guy, it is the camping king. He is the camping king. Where basically you can either change your tent color or he can actually give you stuff if you make curry. Which will happen at a later point, because I'm not doing that now. I'm gonna move on with the story. But hey, hype on that freaking expansion, huh? Really hope it comes out before I get enlisted into the army, honestly, because then I would have literally no time or even the ability to freaking do any of these recordings, because my parents would probably be home during the time where I need to record, and I don't usually record when they're home, which is pretty much why today's episode may be shorter than Shield's episode, but the only reason is because I'm gambling on the fact that my dad might come home at any second. So if this episode suddenly cuts off and then seems like a really awkward, like, you know, change in scenery and timing, that's because it's probably 5:30 and my dad just went back to fetch my mom. But, you know, whatever. And it's Sonia, real ace of you to make it through the wild area. Haha, I walked. Seems like your track right in your Pokemon Rag. You should pop into the Pokemon Center. That's why I'm here. Besides, there's something I bet you'll get a kick out of it if you're a real trainer and all. Oh, well, now you're just insulting me. Even though I started, like, what, 1 day ago? Pretty much 2 in-game days, maybe 3. Oh. Oh, looks like the Rotomi's free. Sounds like a phone brand. Maybe that's maybe that's like the Apple of this entire universe, huh? Rotomi. Rotomi are kind of Rotom information service. Ah. Rotom I. Okay. It's a handy machine for trainers. You can even use it to customize your lead card. Why don't you try playing it around with your lead card a bit, Leonidas? Here's a sample for you. And here, it's not ours, it's Leon's. It's not Sonia's one either, so, you know, could care less. But Mostock sure is big, but not to worry. Sonia is here to show you around a bit. Come with me out there, heal up your Pokemon. I would hope so that I heal up my Pokemon. Get a bit worked up thinking about how excited and moving it was to actually stand on a stadium's pitch for the first time. And now you are, Professor. Your life has gone downhill. Okay, I'm just joking. She does good work. I'll take your Pokemon for a few seconds. Yep, this seconds always feels like an hour. But yeah, this will be the team that we'll be working with for now. Ralts, Jangmo, and Grookey. Ralts is meant to help out Jangmo, and well, basically, Grookey currently still has all his weaknesses not in check. But we'll figure that out when the time comes. But for now, let's move on. Oh. Was I supposed to do something in there? Oh, whatever. Hi, Sonia. I was totally done. So, a young trainer who's braved the wild area, do you remember what your goal in Mostock is? I'm here for the gym challenge. Yup, the gym challenge opening ceremony. Yeah, it's not even the actual challenge, it's just the opening ceremony. Yay. By the way, the ceremony tomorrow is being held at Mostock Stadium, okay? Good to know. Good to know, Sonia. Use that little riddle to get to the stadium, okay? It's hard to miss it, Sonia, honestly. Well, later, I'm gonna swing by the shops while I'm here, but don't forget to register at the stadium, okay? Your favorite word is that, isn't it? Bye. Before we continue on, I will maybe look around to see if there's anything that can be found in this starting area. So, oh, like over here. Over here in the corner, we have a nugget. You can sell it for a bunch of money. That's pretty much it. And the dens at the wild area actually do give, well, some of them at least, depending on what Pokemon you fight, some of them will have a chance to give you a gold nugget. And a lot of other things there are used to sell. So doing dens actually has more, other than just getting Pokemon for your team. You can also get things that you can sell, and also, well, candies. Yeah, you can get rare candies. Don't think there's any over there, so now let's walk on over here. Ah, yes, this guy. Outside the record store. Talk to him, and he will give you TR13 Focus Energy. Basically, it's a TM that makes it so that your Pokemon has a higher chance of landing crits. Simple as that. And moving. Hello, buddy. And over here at the probably rival shop to the other shop, there's this guy who will give you these high-tech earbuds. Thanks. Unfortunately, they do not affect me one bit because I cannot hear anything anyways. Do you know what's so high-tech about them high-tech earbuds? When you put them in your ears, they actually let you control the sounds of your surroundings. You can even make them stop specific sounds like Pokemon cries. How is that any usefulness, Grandpappy? That is, I don't know what accent that is, but I should stop. I don't think there's anything else, but oh god, there's a monster after us. I'm going to retract my statement. There is a monster after us. I'd surely never make it to the stadium without you to show me the way, partner. Even with this huge old thing like this in the bang middle of the city, I still get lost. You're just blindly. Leonidas, alright? Wait, what do you mean alright? One look tells me you become a trainer worthy of that endorsement I gave you. And yes, I reckon you might be ready to use this. Here, try giving this to your partner though. Lee will give you one of 3 items at this point in time. If you chose Grookey, like I did, he will give you the Miracle Seed, which basically boosts the power of Grass-type moves. If you had Scorbunny, you'll be given the Charcoal, which boosts the power of Fire-type moves. And if you choose Sobble, you'll be given the Mystic Water, which boosts the power of Water-type moves. This is actually the first time in a Pokemon game where they actually give you something that's mildly competitive. Yeah, that expansion pass is still taunting me. I can't wait. I honestly can't wait for it. Even though I feel like I'll be in the army, but you know. We'll see how the world goes. Anyway, I talked to this guy over here, the pedophile with the Pokeball on his head. Well, not really. It's just that so happened he's playing with a kid. You'll give him a Pokeball. Heck yeah. In case you were wondering, I'm just not any old Pokeball. But then who am I, you ask? Well, the answer is simple. They call me the Ball Guy. You're the Ball Guy. Duh. Okay, no. Most Stock Stadium, this is where the opening ceremony will be held. Everyone will be watching the opening ceremony for Gym Challenge. Your mom, my mom, I did the same thing I did again. The whole world! I should have just done like the whole world, your mom, and my mom. It's getting me a bit nervous, really. Nah, this isn't nerves. I'm only trembling because I'm so excited. Oh wait, I need to do his voice.
Come on, Leonidas, it's time the world learn our names. My name's Hop. I have a better living conditions than most of you.
It's so true though. His house is so much better than everyone in our village. Like if you went back to like the starting village where your characters came from, you will see that Hop is actually better off than everybody else only because his brother is the freaking champion.